Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is Tom with Novak Weather, bringing you up to date on the severe weather potential now for Minnesota and western Wisconsin and northern Iowa for later this afternoon and throughout much of the evening and perhaps even into the overnight hours. This is a pretty serious situation. We've got all the ingredients coming together for a widespread severe weather outbreak. This would include areas of the I-94 corridor, which would be the Twin Cities, St. Cloud, Alexandria, the Brainerd Lakes area, and then as far south and east as the Eau Claire areas of western Wisconsin and into the Rochester area of southeastern Minnesota. Right now, get this, temperatures are well into the 80s and low 90s across southern Minnesota, in fact, much of Minnesota, and dew points are approaching 80 degrees in southwestern Minnesota. There is a lot of juice in the air. This is oppressive heat that is just west and south of the Twin Cities, and that heat is what's, of course, creating the energy, which will eventually turn into some thunderstorm-making environment here in southern Minnesota and western Wisconsin. Now, winds are coming up from the south here, south and southeast here in southern Minnesota, and then they are turning to the west as you go higher up in the atmosphere. So you're getting this twisting of the air here in southern Minnesota and into western Wisconsin, and that is why we have the potential for tornadoes. And another thing that we're keeping an eye on is, of course, the radar. And right now you're looking at the radar over the upper Midwest. And what I'm really focused on right now is this area of showers over North Dakota, southeastern North Dakota, and then, of course, this dying area of thunderstorm activity over northeastern Minnesota. And I'll get into this thunderstorm activity over northeastern Minnesota in just a little bit, because this is very important what was happening here. But look at this. This is a disturbance in North Dakota and South Dakota that's moving east, and that is what's creating the showers. And this is going to be some energy that's actually going to be moving into Minnesota this afternoon. And, of course, that energy is going to interact with the heat that we have over us to produce the thunderstorm activity later on today. Now, this is a very interesting visible satellite loop, and I want to show you a couple of things. This is starting this morning at about 7 or 8 a.m. this morning. You can see these bright white clouds over northern Minnesota. These are dying or collapsing thunderstorms this morning and early this afternoon. But look at this clearing area that gets produced by this decaying thunderstorm near Duluth. And this is an area, what we call an outflow boundary. And this is what is very important to notate on this visible satellite loop, is this outflow boundary that has developed due to this cold pool of air that was created by this dying or decaying thunderstorm over eastern Minnesota. This outflow boundary, which now stretches from basically the Twin Cities back west and north along the I-94 corridor to near Fargo, it's likely that this area is going to be the focus for additional severe thunderstorm activity here within the next 3 to 4 hours. So I think the Fargo area down to Alexandria, even St. Cloud, and then up to the Brainerd Lakes area, these are the areas that we are going to want to really watch closely here over the next couple of hours, because that is likely where thunderstorm activity is going to develop. And again, it's because of this outflow boundary that is going to be a focus for this thunderstorm activity. With that being said, let's take a look at the Novak weather. This is hot off the press. This is the severe weather potential map for later today, so anytime after about 3 o'clock today through, at least midnight tonight. And again, I'm focusing on this corridor, at least initially, later this afternoon, this corridor from Fargo down southeast along Interstate 94 and Highway 10 to near St. Cloud, or just northwest of the Twin Cities. This is the area that I think is going to be ground zero for redevelopment of thunderstorm activity here in the next 2 to 3 hours. And then, of course, when these thunderstorms develop, they will quickly become severe, and they will move east and south towards the Twin Cities, and maybe even affect areas such as Mankato, definitely Rochester and Eau Claire. So a lot for us to keep an eye on here this afternoon and evening. I will be watching radar closely here, and of course, if anything real significant comes up, I'll be updating all you folks on Facebook and Twitter. So keep an eye to the sky. Take care.